Welcome back to another episode of That Motor Show, ladies and gentlemen. On this episode, we're heading on down to the Nugget Garage to have a one-on-one with none other than Scotty Hoffman.
All right, guys, Aldo from That Motor Show, and I'm here at the home of Nugget Garage with Scotty Hoffman. Mate, welcome to That Motor Show. Now, behind us is Things, which it took away the win last round at Roll Racing Brisbane.
It did.
Mate, incredible work. I'm curious, a lot of us are curious, what's in Things? Because Things does a lot of things to a lot of people. It does things to me. So we'll talk, I don't know, engine?
I've always been a 2J guy.
A 2J?
So this is a 3.3 2J. So it's
Wow.
a Nitto crank, Nitto rods and pistons. Actually, it's Nitto rods and JE pistons. Interesting thing is it's still a full wet cast block, so there's no grout in it.
Wow.
It's making anywhere up to sort of 1800 flywheel at the moment.
So just a little bit of power.
So you can legit, it'll idle for an hour and sit at 85 degrees. Like, it's not a race engine. So
It's not a race
It's
engine.
a little bit too much for the street. Cams are a little bit stupid,
But any car now that makes over 2,000 horsepower still has a street number plate, it's still a street car. So
I honestly don't think it would do 2,000 on the 85. That's the thing, it's still limited by the fuel.
then I guess you've got to go
And if you went
methanol.
more anyway, it'd probably split the block.
Well, that's impressive that you're still on a standard block.
It's an older technology turbo. It's a GTX 55 Gen 2,
Well,
94mm. So it's a big, lazy, heavy turbo. So you probably hear it at the start there. It uses a 200 shot of gas to
yeah,
get
I just seen that in the
it
bit.
to move. It doesn't come on by itself. About 7,000 revs up it comes on. So the nitrous from a 40 roll, it needs a lot to get it to move.
Right.
In fact, it makes racing it hard because people hear the note change and think that I'm going, but I'm just trying to boost up a little bit. So
That's
I've
what
got it down pat now. So
falling back into transmission.
yeah, just a power glide.
Just a power glide.
Yeah, mate of mine Kip built it. It's a JW case, probably a 2,000 horsepower glide. One of James Horan's converters. Just got a 9-inch in it. With race products floaters. It's an old ladder bar car from the 90s. So
Old school.
I've heard some people call it the Pro Mod. It's not a Pro Mod. It's a super sedan or something if you want to call it that.
This is
There's
like
actually pictures of this racing down south in the 90s, and it had the whole wheel arch cut out with a slick in there like they used to do back in the day. So the car actually has no rust in it, but it's had a hard time. Like, it was beaten up.
the old school 90s
bad.
drag car.
And then since then, some guys down in Melbourne, Sydney, down there,
Somewhere down there.
they put a JZ in it, and it was blue.
Oh, wow.
I think they got it to run 8.1s or something quarter. And it got sold to someone up here, another shop, another friend of mine, and then a couple other guys I know also did some work on it. No one particularly happy with the work that's done on it, and I ended up buying it off a mate who wasn't going to finish it, and that's what we ended up with. It's still not
Thanks.
painted, but
The colour combo on it is, it's cool. It's got like a patina,
battleship grey, yeah.
something like that. It's just a big,
Actually, we're tossing up now whether we're actually going to paint it or not. I'll just leave it. So,
we'll leave that one, anyone in the comments, but
yeah, the engine bay's white already. That's the colour it was going to be.
it's
This-
different.
This weight normally sits under the front, under the
So
this side.
this is a ballast sort of
Because I had those less than ideal tyres, and I thought we'll try and throw the weight right out the back. And actually, I'm going to try that with the big tyres next time. So
So you liked it.
I reckon it worked.
And how much is it? 50?
That's 50 kilos of lead.
50 kilo. Wow.
Yeah.
And then
50 kilos plus 70 litres of fuel plus batteries and nitrous. The car is very, very back heavy. So you take it to the drag strip now, we've got to undo that. And we've got 40 kilos of lead that goes in the front. Take that off the back, otherwise it doesn't want us to stay on the ground. Yeah.
Well, that would be something to see, but
If you've got the front wheels in the air, then you've done everything you can for traction.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
so that's obviously where we see the car quite a fair bit in the time that Wheelerbank's been offline.
Yeah, that's exactly why we've been doing it. And been tuning for a long time now, and I've never really played around with traction control, and I thought, well, this would be good. So in a little sedan,
We'll get
first
into that
time
one
we
for
started
sure.
playing with traction control with that, this thing just uses drive shaft speed management. Once you have a good drive shaft speed profile, I don't have to pedal it anymore, it'll just go, and it
Just
won't do anything wrong. So
Put your foot down and away you go.
Yep.
So-
In Sydney, it took me about 5 passes, and then I had it dialed, and it just
All night
passed,
long.
just held it flat. Yeah.
And that too, the win there for
Yeah.
the two-wheel drive class.
Interestingly, Sydney's track, because of the no burnout thing, can't handle the power that QR can, but
No.
their runoff is great. You can run it right at the back down there, it's fine. I think their track's longer as well.
Just a little bit, hey. Oh, it would happen so fast for you here at Queensland Raceway, like a blink of an eye and slow them down.
I think my boost coming in by 3.5 seconds and the run's over by 4. So there's not much on the track really.
What sort of speed is it achieving towards the end there?
On a good run, 257. I'm pretty sure you could get it to go 260 on the 325s.
That's
I
moving, hey?
When I lost to that El Toro Lambo 2 rolls ago, I short shifted and it lost a heap of speed and I crossed at 232 and he had 2.5 car lengths on me, but I could have made it closer. I don't know if it would have won, but
A close race is a nice race, right?
yeah. There's fireworks going off and I don't know what was going on.
I was on the microphone yelling, "Some things come up." No.
Mostly comes down to user. Like I said, I get nervous and I stuff up.
Oh, everyone does. It's today you can have the car, you can have the tune, but human input is the main thing out of all of
I'll
it.
tell you about it. I've tried to keep this one pretty simple. It's got one in-tank pump. It uses a brushless 5-gallon pump. It's speed controlled by the Nexus.
Nexus Heltec. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. I think I've got 3 of them now. I haven't touched the tune in this thing for, I don't know, probably the whole year it's been running. It's just power management. Everything else just looks after itself.
Yeah. In all the Nugget Garage videos I've watched, you're always playing around with the wiring. You're in amongst it. Like, you're the man for tuning.
Yeah, I try.
You try?
Yeah, I try, yeah. Starting to get a real good grasp on, like I said, the traction stuff now.
Yeah.
It's something I've ever been interested in being. Drag strip, even on a radial, it's sticky. You don't have to worry about managing the tyre until you get to like 5,000 horsepower. But you just set up a couple of different boost ramps and a couple of different traction level of aggression on the keypad. I just balance it out on the track, whatever it feels. And actually last weekend there, it turned out that less was more. So on the final, it was on the lowest boost ramp, because pedaling it in the deep end is inconsistent.
Well, I suppose the colder it's getting, that track's getting
Track gets
due.
cold.
It was very cold. It looks the part, it goes the part.
Pulled some feathers, yeah. We've got to try and probably go and now that Willowbank's open.
Try and play.
My mate Mick has gone 190 mile an hour in this. I haven't yet. So I want to try and do that.
You have to give it a go. How long has things been around for?
About a year.
Just a little while?
About a year.
A year? Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was only like a 6-month build.
Yeah.
The car, like, it came to me with sheet metal and a roll cage, and that's about it. Oh, the diff was in it, but I had to modify that and fix that.
So it's pretty much a rolling chassis.
Sort of, yeah.
Semi-rolling chassis. It looks so cool. Oh, I'm a big fan of it. And to see it up close and personal, I'm a fan,
I think
for sure.
even the roof was, like, it had no tension in it. It just build roof stays and build it all up. It was a mess.
I suppose now if you took it to the track as it was, it probably would. So things, we'll move into another car here. You got a collection here from the Nugget Garage series, obviously.
I can't keep them all.
Oh,
I had to sell 1 or 2, and I bought 1 back. But it hurts.
We'll shift into the KE10.
Yep.
Right, so shifting from things into the KE10. Now this 3RZ, this is a little Hilux engine sitting in the little Toyota Corolla KE10.
Yep.
Man.
So back in the day, I built a KE20 with a 2J in it. It was the worst. It was actually probably I think it was the first 7-second radial car in Australia, period. Because
Wow.
obviously it's 2 seconds too slow now, but back then I did it first. Anyway, a mate of mine built this car. I had a website that I was documenting the build, and he built a 4-cylinder version of that same car. So the back end on this is very similar to what my K20 was. And then he went and bigger drag car, sold it again. I think I bought it off the third person after that. Missed it the first 2 times. So I bought it as a running concern, minus an ECU. The ECU was junk in it. So since then we've left it pretty much exactly how it was, but done some engine stuff. Put a Nexus in it, and I think we raced it for 2 years straight, every event.
Really?
Won a fair few. It went 781, 179. Makes 1190 at the hubs. 60 plus pounds of boost. Nearly 10,000 revs out of a 3 hours head. It was pretty cool.
Man, this is wild. You could almost go to the moon with this one, hey?
Oh, it does do that. Hence the weight in the front.
Oh, big old bar down the bottom there.
But it's pretty basic actually. It's stock bottom, stock block, stock main cap, stock crank, aluminium rods, 1/2-inch studs, fire ring, head gasket, Kelford cams.
So you're like pushing the
Precision
stock
turbo.
blocks.
The 3RZ architecture, the actual block in the cap design, it's big. It's stronger than a 2J.
But, so yeah, I'm enjoying this so much, hey? So
It runs on alcohol, it's dry sumped. You've got 3 2400cc injectors per cylinder. So I think wide open it uses 30 litres of fuel a minute.
how's that for your carbon tax?
Yeah. Pretty basic power glide, Hilux diff. It's a 235 radial. It's
That's a little.
factory leaf spring. It doesn't even have a monoleaf in it. It's got a coney shock. It doesn't have a car yeah. It shouldn't do what it does. That's what I like about it. And you don't know what it's going to do when you let the transbrake go. It can go up, left, right, it's fun to drive.
You just hang on for the ride.
But I can't take this thing to roll racing or anything because it's on methanol and the brakes on it are real bad.
That's a very important thing.
A little strange. They're designed for drag racing, not stopping 10 times in a row.
Stop here and there. And it's on, so it's got the cable throttle.
Still got a cable throttle in this one, yeah. Actually, I don't even have a keypad in this one yet.
So this is
Nexus R5 though, so
basic as it gets.
it doesn't. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background to make it work, but it is an older build. You can tell by the red and blue fittings, which I get criticised about all the time.
It's got some sort of nostalgic look and feel to it.
I don't think I'll ever sell it. It's going to stay with me for the rest of the time.
Oh.
I'll have this in my garage one day with my 20 when it's done, and that can probably be the last 2 cars that are left. But
Poor things, don't listen to him.
you can come too.
You got to have the wagon, the little. What is it? It would technically be a coupe.
This? No, this is the sedan. The K15 Sprinter is like the coupe.
I'm still learning a lot about my different models and so forth.
This is the early K10. The bike car here is a K10B, which is in between the K10 and the K11. So it's only within a space of 3 years they changed 3 times.
Right, so it's definitely evident that you're sort of a Toyota man here.
First car was a Corolla. I think I own about 7 or 8 Corollas.
There's something about a bigger human fitting in a smaller car.
I get that come on a lot. I wasn't always this big. No, I was always tall, but
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, man. No shame around here.
you can fit in it all right. Surprisingly, all of the seats in my cars are on the ground. There's no foam in them, so
You can feel the track.
Only the way you can fit into them.
No, well, this
But
is.
getting in and out of the Corollas, I reckon, is easier than getting in and out of a Supra.
Oh yeah,
Just more door opening, less.
they really made the car practical.
I can pretty much sneeze in it though. I feel like I can move it across the track. But they aren't light either. Like everyone thinks you got an 800 kilo Corolla, and it's still 800 kilos after you put 500 kilos worth of shit in it.
Yeah, that is very true.
So these are 1250 plus with me in it.
Wow.
The panel van's 1350-ish. So they're not light cars.
No, well, you do need some sort of weight, otherwise it would just get a gust of wind at 150k an hour. See you later.
See that happen in some drag cars.
Precision.
Yeah, it's an old Precision 8285,
A285.
and it has the Precision puff feature.
Puff feature.
Just on diesel, when you throw the throttle closed, it must move seal, and it gets a big puff of smoke out the exhaust. Everyone thinks that you've junked the engine every pass, but it's been doing it since day dot. So.
Oh,
But if you think about what you're doing to it, those wastegates are shut. They're never open from 1 second in.
yeah,
So
true.
that turbo is spinning as hard as it can possibly go all of the time. So it's lasted 2 or 3 years like that, and there's no sharp play, so it's a good turbo.
It's a win-win. I suppose when
But it's out. So you run it in the early morning, it'll be 2 mile an hour faster than it is at midday because that turbo is taxed.
things are moving.
It can't go any harder. So if the air's good going in, the air's better coming out just.
Oh, that's awesome. There's things like that that build the character. All right. And so moving on from here, we've got a Cressida behind us.
Yeah, it's grandpa. Yep.
So then coming off your KE10 here, again, wicked car. We got the Toyota Cressida. I'm a fan of this car. My first car was a Cressida, so to see this brings back a lot of cool memories here. Tell us a little bit about this one, for anyone that hasn't seen it.
Well, it's a Toyota Century V12 5-litre Cressida. Never actually, I don't remember it actually ever intending to build it, but I bought a 1GZ off that, if you watch the Skid Factory 30, the guy who owns the J40 with the V12 in it. Spare motor, I bought that for no reason other than to sit it there for something. And then this Cressida, when I was in the exhaust shop, guy was pretty tidy. I told him if he wants to sell it, let me know. Came back about 3 years later and this guard was stoved in that door. He just goes, yeah, you can have it. So I went, cool. And then another towing mate of mine had the exact same door and guard, exact same, so it was back to a pretty stock, clean body.
It looks amazing.
And then the 7M things.
Head gaskets.
Yeah. And then we just come up with the idea, we'll put this in, and then it was a very easy conversion. Time too, Al and that had been playing around with them, and they'd put rods out of them at 350, 380 horsepower, and I thought, well, I reckon I can do better than that. I'm working around the weaknesses in the engine, being the conrod. So I made it all short runner inlet, larger turbo, didn't use variable cam and timing, moved the power band 2,000 revs higher than where it should be
Wow.
to eliminate low end torque, and made 550. And it's still going. Admittedly, you can feel that I've done it on purpose. I've clipped its wings down low, but
Up high, should be singing.
we started it up first time out the dump pipe, and it sounded like 2 V6 Commodores. Like, not good. So it's quiet now. And from about 7,000 revs up, it gets like a little bit of a Lambo wail to it. Just you can't drive around 7,000 revs. But, I don't know. There's no point to it other than
Just why not?
You're not going to drive past another one.
No, it's in there quite snug.
It was literally one GZ bell housing onto the 7 MA340, some spacers and some slotted mounts, and it was in. Then obviously had to build turbo setup, and I wanted it to drive like a factory car, so it's got all the aircon, the Haltex controlling the gearbox. It just drives like a Cressida.
That's the thing. A Cressida from the get-go was a nice, comfortable car to drive.
Yeah, I think it's my third one I've had now.
I love the Toyota thing going on.
It's a Grande as well.
Grande, so it's got the leather seats
Doesn't
and
have a sunroof, but it's a Grande.
the little touch buttons on the dash there.
Factory LSD and lots
Proper old man car.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, they do have the
The only
factory.
mistake that I made, I decided that it was cheaper to put coilovers in it than to buy new struts and coils.
Yeah, it's turbocharged. But usually either seen these with the obviously JZs, less, or even the Barras now.
Yep.
But to see a turbo V12 in it.
I don't think you'll see another one. I'm glad I built it. It didn't actually cost that much money to build. I mean, the motors are a little bit dear to buy. I think when we went to make the inlet manifold, a mate of mine was machining it and the mill moved and ended up. And just trying to find another one to start again, I couldn't. So we had to weld it, build it all back up with weld, and then we made it work.
It's there.
It's
cool to
out here,
see.
if I heard it now, I've got to try and find another engine. Or you go down the road of building it and then partly engines make parts for them, but there's 12 of everything and then all those valve springs, like it, I'll leave it stock for a bit.
It's a lot of engine. It is stock enough, I suppose. Oh, it's cool to see it in person, man. Like, yeah, I'll flick through the YouTubes and I'll see it pop up here and there. And
Try and take it for a drive one day if you want.
Definitely.
It just cruises along.
Definitely. And we got stuff over here. Things and stuff. How'd you come up with the names of things and stuff?
I don't know. It's the Sharks Leagues Club in about probably 6 beers. And I was trying to buy number plates for the bike car. And then, I don't know, we just ended up with stuff available. And I thought, well, I might as well get things as well. Because we used to say stuff and things a lot. You know?
Stuff and things. True, makes sense.
And I did intend to get that as well.
That.
But someone's taken that now.
Cool. We'll find it. That, stuff and things. Yeah, that'd be a good mix.
Yeah, I'll show you the stuff.
Yeah, let's.
Unfortunately, that brings an end to tonight's episode, but make sure you're tuning in next week as we overlook stuff, then we overlook the KE10 high-bussa-powered Corolla and the rotary-powered KE20. Man, it has been an absolute pleasure working with Scott on this one. Yeah, Nugget Garage, guys. Make sure you check out their YouTubes. But remember, if you like the video, hit the like, hit the comment, hit the subscribe, and remember, That Motor Show, Aldo, signing out.